Good Wednesday morning to you. Well, our focus is for some gradient wind issues, but generally well below threshold, well below 40 miles per hour as it looks right now, except for our highest peaks up and down the spine of the Green Mountains. The yellow lines show this upper level trough. It's passing on through and a fairly tight pressure gradient off to the north and west. And the latest SPC um, shows it up a little bit better here with a very tight pressure gradient, generally off to the west of us and then up to the north of us. This is going to swing through, tighten the pressure gradient up, so we're going to see some gusty northwest winds. Again, they're going to be below levels, thresholds for outages. However, there is this little vegetation issue. Roughly about this time of the year, we have a tendency to see lowered thresholds for wind. And so up around 35, 36, 38 miles an hour, we can get an outage. So this is going to be one of those cases today. So we're really right on the cusp of seeing outages. And one of the other factors to play with here is this cloud cover here. You can see that drier air is starting to become entrained, and this is also some very cool, chilly air that's being blown in on this northwest wind. But the cloud cover may not allow as good of mixing conditions, but I think when the clouds do start to pull away and open up, we're going to start to see a little bit better mixing conditions and pull some of the higher velocity winds aloft down closer to the surface. So in spite of the Green Mountains, generally east of the Greens are the most susceptible. And usually in these cases, generally Windsor and Windham counties are a little bit worse off than other areas. But again, this is not a big deal, a very low impact kind of day. Looking at the latest modeling, it does look like we're going to see the strongest winds, a little bit of an uptick this morning, roughly through about maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. And then pretty much just about anywhere along the spine of the Green Mountains and some of the higher elevations east of the Greens has the best shot at seeing approaching thresholds for any kind of outages. But trying to identify any kind of wind bursts has been a little bit difficult. It does look like winds begin to fall off just a little bit, roughly around 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock this evening. And then they really make a nice fall as temperatures get cooler and some of that cold Canadian air settles and that temperature inversion forms and lifts the higher velocity winds aloft. And wind gusts overnight, it looks like V-Trans at Woodford down on Route 9, southern Vermont, and also J. Milton, 34 miles an hour here. This is at Woodford, and you can see the strongest gusts up around 36. And that's ramped up just a little bit, so I'm expecting that to kind of hang out in that zone, which may or may not produce an outage. That's it from here, Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.